Still Pinder. Oh, ball is loose. The Giants have it. Scott Eaton's on the football.
That's a pretty good hitting going on there, I'll tell you.
Jimmy Files knocked it loose, and Scott Eaton covered it.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you give this video a thumbs up or maybe leave a comment below, possibly even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Woo! Another game, another loss. What can you say? 21-6. Oh my God. Well, you know, I maybe not everybody feels this way. So I thank God there's just 3 games left in this season. I mean, it's just really freaking sad. Absolutely sad. There's so many things. Yeah, you can nitpick about bad. I got some of the bad stuff. Once again, the Giants. It's the 10th time out of 14 games they gave it. Not only gave up 1 score in the final 2 minutes, they gave up 2 scores in the final 2 minutes of the first half. It's the 10th time in 14 games they've given up a scoring drive in the final 2 minutes of the first half. They've given up 65 points in the final 2 minutes of the first half. They haven't scored a point all year. And I think Dallas was number 2. They were a plus 32. So with these 2 field goals, they're a plus 38. They might be number 1 now. So you basically had like maybe the best 2-minute team in the first half against the worst. I mean, 65 points, gave up 2 field goals in the final 2 minutes of the first half. Absolute frickin' joke. 65-0, we've been outscored in the first 2 minutes of the first half. Unfrickin' believable. We had the 2 first half turnovers that led to the 9 points. It was the interception. Ball got tipped up in the air. Picked off from back about the 10-yard line. And then with Saquon Barkley's, they scored 9 points because they got a touchdown there. Missed the extra point. It was very windy. Zerline, it was going, but it looked like the wind took it. Then Saquon Barkley's fumble around the last minute or so, the first half, led to another field goal. So basically, gave him 9 points right there. There was just so many, times where we gave the Cowboys points and more other times where maybe we could have gotten points. I mean, I'll go over a little bit. Basically, a few plays here, a few plays there. The Giants certainly could have won this game. Shepard, I just want to bring him up. Shame. I mean, what, like a freaking minute to go in the game? I mean, it's. I don't know if it's a turf or what the heck it is, but I really wish somebody would. I mean, they got surveys and stuff for all kinds of stuff. I mean, they got to have something for something. I mean, how can you take like a step, boom, there goes your ACL. Oh, you're done for the rest of the year. I mean, it was the same thing with Blake Martinez. Cordell Patterson was caught the ball, put a move on him. Blake Martinez went to make the tackle. Boom, season's over. I mean, is it? It's just right. It's just unbelievable. Absolutely. I hate to see anybody, obviously, but I mean, of course, it just seems to happen to the Giant players, not the other team's players. But it's a shame. I mean, I love the guy. He was one of the best second-round picks we've had. I mean, when he's healthy, he's an unbelievable player. But whoever the new GM is, I think when there's a chance to let him go without taking too much of a dead cap hit, I think it's time to let him go. He's missed 2 years ago. He missed 6 games. Last year he missed 4, I think, with the concussions. This year he's going to miss 10 games. So he's missed 20 games in the last 3 years. 3 years ago, he played all 16 games. The year before that, I think he missed like 6 games. I mean, in the last like 5 years, I think he's missed like 26 games. I mean, it's great having the talent, this, that, but I mean, you can't even be on the field. It's like, what good are you? I mean, it's a shame, but it's a performance business. I just wanted to point that. I mean, it's just a shame. You hate to see the guy hurt, anybody hurt, but it's a shame. And it's simply amazing. Really is. How the Giants cannot seem to cover like the slowest person on the field. I mean, Dalton Schultz. I mean, he's had 14 receptions. He caught a touchdown pass this yesterday. He's had 14 receptions against the Giants, and I mean, the slowest guy. It's like just takes you back to Jason Witten, slowest dude on the field. He's always catching 7, 8, 9, 10 balls every game. It's like we can't cover the guy. I mean, past 15, 20 years, we've never gotten or anybody to cover somebody who can just run like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 yards and turn around. I mean, we can't. It's simply amazing. I mean, for the most part, I'm sure they were probably more worried about like ABCD Lamb, Cooper, Gallup. I'm sure they're worried about the big threats down deep. I mean, I think ABCD Lamb had 50 yards. Cooper had 2 receptions. I mean, so they kept them down quite a bit. So I think they were more concerned about that. But it's just absolutely amazing. Every time against the Giants play the Cowboys, you just look at their tight end. Oh yeah, 7 receptions. This thing. Oh yeah. I mean, our guy, who can probably jump over Schultz, he can outrun him, outdiss him, out that, has 3 receptions. Their guy, he just turns around, just stops and catches the pass. He had 7. I think he had 6 receptions, 8 receptions. I mean, but I know he's had 14 in 2 games this year against us. Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. No turnover. We had the 1 turnover. Of course, it didn't lead to any points. I'll get to that in a minute. But once again, no interceptions. Cowboys got 3 of them, which wound up being huge. Interceptions in this game, turnovers would have been huge. But we got the 1. So we had a Lorenzo Carter sighting. Oh my God, we forgot the guy was even on the team. First 2 sacks of the year. Well, welcome to the NFL, buddy. Game 14, and you got your first 2 sacks of the season. Yes, congratulations. I think he realized, wow, this is a contract year. I think I might want to start playing some football. I want to get paid next year. So, but anyway, it was good to see Lorenzo Carter with the 2 sacks. But I mean, interceptions, more turnovers would have been huge in this game. Mike Glennon should never play another snap for us ever again. I mean, my God. I mean, put anybody. Logan Ryan said put him in there, see what he can do. I'll just Jake Fromm just ride out the rest of the season. I mean, my God, Mike Glennon, the 4th and 1 quarterback sneak. I mean, didn't work. Gave the Cowboys the ball thrown at our own 29. Like the games in the past, like 4th and 1 or 2 around midfield, and we punt the ball. But when it's our own 29-yard line, we go for it. I mean, Mike Glennon, when he's leaning over, his neck is over the line to gain. I mean, he can't. I mean, sorry. We can't get any push up the middle. Really, really, really sad. This is the 9th game in a row that we had the 9th game in a row. Our offense had less than 320 yards of total offense. 9th game in a row. Really, really sad. We all kinds of plays that we had that led to. I'll go over this in a minute. Led to points for the Cowboys or took points away from us. This is the 2nd time this season that we didn't score an offensive touchdown. We're 0-2 in the red zone. We were the worst team in the NFL, and we remain the worst team in the NFL in the red zone. We were 47%. Actually, going into the Charger game, I think we were like 41 or 42%. We went 3 for 3 last week, so it brought us up to about 47%. But now we went 0 for 2 this week, so that dropped us. So, but red zone offense is non-existent. 6 out of the last 7 games, our wide receivers or running backs have not had a touchdown. 6 out of the last 7 games, our running backs and wide receivers have not had touchdowns. You know, we've had, in the last 7 games, we've had as many touchdowns by our offensive tackle games with a touchdown, our offensive tackle, as we had with our wide receivers and running backs. We had 1 game with a touchdown from our offensive tackle. We had 1 game with touchdowns from our wide receivers and running backs. Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, there was usually what they say is that during the course of a game, you know, you talk to a lot of coaches and stuff like that. There's like 4 or 5 plays. You know, I mean, unless the game is like, you know, a blowout, kind of like maybe last week. Yeah, you know, when you're down 37-7. But I mean, a lot of times, most of the games are real kind of close. You know, but a lot of times you hear is like there's maybe 4 or 5 plays every game that kind of just, you know, and it's pretty much this. You know, everything, every play was against the Giants. It wasn't like, well, you know, we had 3 plays here that went against the Giants, but 3 plays over here went against the Cowboys. That helped the Giants. No, every play went against the Giants. But then again, when you're 10-4, you get a lot of the breaks. You're a good team, and good teams get a lot of the breaks. When you're a bad team, you don't get a lot of the breaks. When you're 4-10, obviously you're 4-10 for a reason. You're a bad team. A lot of breaks don't go your way. Now the interception early on, you know, the ball that, you know, one thing because the Giants don't get a lot of pressure, so the Giants don't want them getting stuff like this a lot, like the quarterback going back, you know, and our guys can't quite get the sack, but we got pressure on them, our arms and hands all. We hit the ball goes up. Oh, last time you seen another team's quarterback drop back to pass, and one of our hits his arm, and the ball flies up in the air, and we want to grab it in there. How often do you see, you know, right? But I mean, you got to give they had the pressure, you know, give them the credit, hitting the arm and all of that. But you know, interception, they run the ball back to the 10-yard line, short field, and they score a touchdown. They missed the extra point, but they scored. So that's 6 points we gave from a turnover. All right. Then they got they basically after that they had 2 drives, you know, very nice drives. They walked down the field, okay, and they wanted to kick field goals. So all game long, the Cowboys had 2 drives all game where they walked down the field and kicked field goals. They never walked down the field, scored a touchdown. So they had 2 drives. They scored basically 6 points kind of like on their own with good scoring drives. 6 points all game long. Then when it was 12-3, we had the ball. And Saquon had the ball punched out. I mean, this is, you know, they gave the Cowboys credit. They punched the ball out. They got the recovery. But I mean, if you're covering up the ball, you don't fumble it, right? Turnovers will kill you. Well, they killed us in this game. Absolutely freaking killed us. So the Saquon Barkley fumble led to another field goal. So we gave them 6 points on the first interception, 3 points on the fumble. So now we gave them, I mean, they deserved it. They earned it. I'm saying, but the turnovers cost us 9 points. Then you had the fourth down and 1, where Mike Glennon was up on the line. His neck was over the line to gain marker, but he somehow couldn't get the ball over there. All right, so now they got the ball, I think, our own 29, short field, right, leads to their last touchdown. So basically, if we punted the ball and made them go 70, 75 yards, they may not have gone the whole way. They may not have scored at all. But because they only had to go like 29 yards, short field. So basically, they had to go like 39 yards, and they scored 2 touchdowns. If we punted the ball, maybe they don't score at all. Right? So with the turnover there, that was 6 points there. The Barkley fumble was 3 points. The interception was 3 points. So basically, there's 15 points right there on just turnovers. Then we finally got a turnover. Got the ball to 27. It was 2nd and 10. Glennon's being rushed. Runs out. Throws the ball. You know, Galladay's in the end zone. But he's running. He throws it. Of course, he throws it short, and he gets picked off. Now we're 2nd and 10. If he threw the ball out of the end zone, just heave it out of the end zone, right? Incomplete pass. Maybe on 3rd down, maybe you pick up 5 yards or so. Maybe get something a little closer. maybe we kick a field goal. So now there's 3 points. Because of a turnover, there's 3 points we could have had. So basically, there's 15 points we gave them because of turnovers, and there's 3 points that we lost because of a turnover. Then at the end of the game, we got Jake Fromm in there. He, moved the team down the field, very, very nice. 6 out of 12, 82 yards. But because we were down by 21 points, we had to go for a touchdown instead of going for a field goal. So there's 6 points that we lost because of field goals because of the one interception and the Jake Fromm. We got because we needed to score a touchdown. So there's 6 points we could have had. And so if you give this, I just like doing this kind of stuff after we wind up losing. So if you give us those 6 points, now we got 12. You take the 15 points away from the Cowboys, they only have 6. Yeah. Even if you give them the Saquon Barkley fumble, right, and they kick a field goal there, we beat them 12-9. I mean, I know it never would work out that way, but you can see a few plays here, a few plays there, and it's a totally different ball game. But once again, when you're a bad team, that's what happens to you. Jalen Smith, we had him for 3 days. He got called up off the practice squad. Right, he had 4 tackles, 3 solo. Not sure how many plays he was in there for, but I just have 4 tackles. He had 1 tackle in 27 plays when he was with the Packers for those 2 games. So I'm interested to see how many plays he actually played. So, I mean, if he only played the Cowboys had 70 plays, I think it was. So if he was only in there for half the snaps or so and he had 4 tackles, can't complain about that. Let's see if he, let's see if he can stick around. Lorenzo Carter, huh? Finally, right? He had 4 tackles, he had 2 sacks, he had 1 pass defense, and he had 3 quarterback hits. Where the frick was this at all year long? I mean, you're waiting the 14th game of the season to start playing some football? I mean, seriously? Oh my God. Quincy Roche got him and Azeez Ojulari split a sack. So now Quincy Roche has 2.5. Azeez Ojulari's got 8. So Quincy Roche's only been with us about half the season. And even with the first couple of games, he didn't play a lot. So, I mean, if he's got 2.5 sacks in about half a season, you're playing that out over a full season. If he has 5, this is his first season, too. Maybe next year he might get a little bit better. So, I mean, he's on pace this year to get about 5 sacks for a full season. Nothing super spectacular, but maybe next year he can get a little bit better. If Patrick Graham is still here and we still got the same, defense and all that stuff, maybe he can get 5 or 6 sacks next year or 7. So I mean, if you get 5, 6, 7 from him, Azeez can get you maybe 8 or 9 or so. I mean, nothing spectacular, but that's something to start with. And I said maybe in the draft we can get somebody else who can maybe get us a few sacks. I'm still waiting to see Ellerson Smith get his first sack, but I know he's out there, but he really hasn't made much of a dent yet as far as playing defensively. Tay Crowder had 12 tackles. Julian Love and Logan Ryan were up there. They both had 10 tackles. Very, very good. We only gave up the defense. Only gave up 125 yards on 30 carries. It's only 4.2 yards per carry. We did very good against Zeke. Pollard had a couple nice runs against us. Pollard averaged quite a bit against us. I mean, but the 125 yards, you can't complain about, because last time they got over 200 yards rushing against us. So 125 is not too bad. Now, Dak Prescott, he completed 76% of his passes. It's 28 out of 37. But if he only had 203 yards, only 5.3 yards per pass attempt. So, I mean, that's really low. You get somebody in the 5 yards per pass attempt, that's very, very low. So, I mean, the defense really, really did a very, very good job. The Giants ran the ball. I mean, the Cowboys giving up 4.5 yards a carry. The Giants ran the ball 24 times for 124 yards. They got 5.2 yards a carry. So you can't complain about that. Saquon, what a freaking catch that was. I mean, it just goes to show you. I mean, it's like Glennon is just so off on some of his passes. I mean, I know he maybe had a little pressure, but he throws the ball and it's was that only a yard behind? How did he catch that ball? He got Spider-Man hands or something. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, how the frick did he catch that? Man, wow, what an amazing catch, huh? I mean, it just goes to show you how sometimes unbelievably off Mike Glennon can be when he throws the ball. I mean, my God. Absolutely horrible. We only gave up 1 sack. Pretty darn impressive. Micah Parsons only had 1 tackle. Very pedestrian-like. Didn't have a very good game against us. But, yeah, I'm sure he'll still be the defensive rookie of the year, as well he should be. Phenomenal talent, all of that. But he was very, very quiet. Very quiet against us today. The Cowboys only had the 328 yards of total offense. So, not too bad. I mean, all in all, you can't complain about it. Even if the defense gave up the 2 scoring drives. I mean, all in all, you can't complain. Even with the turnovers, we only gave up 21 points. I mean, you can't complain about that at all. We had, a lot of guys. We had a bunch of guys being hurt. We had like 9 guys on the COVID list. We had our 2nd string quarterback, our 3rd string quarterback in there. It could have been a heck of a lot worse. I mean, I think if the Cowboys had their 2nd and 3rd string quarterbacks in there, things might have been a little bit different. So, I mean, once again, you got to take, sometimes it's not who you play, it's like when you play them. If the team is decimated by injuries, you got a shot at beating them, I mean, the Giants are a bad team. We got a 2nd, 3rd string quarterback in there. I think we had like 9 guys on the COVID list. I mean, our secondary was decimated. I mean, 21-6, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things to be pissed off about and all, but all in all, against a very good Dallas Cowboy team, the turnovers just killed us. Turnovers absolutely freaking killed us. Unbelievable. Devontae Booker, very good game. 8 rushes, 74 yards, 2 receptions for 8 yards. He had 82 total yards. So I hate saying it, but I mean, Saquon's the man. I love him, all this stuff. But if we don't wind up re-signing him to a long-term contract, paying him 14, 15, whatever million a year, if somebody else does, Devontae's, may not be the best guy in the league, but I'll tell you what, we can do some things with him. We can do some things. I'm just very impressed with him all year long. The stuff he does. So if Barkley plays only 1 more year with us, maybe we can keep Booker around a little while. He's a heck of a good running back. Very good running back, and he's a very cheap running back as well too. Jake Fromm had the 1 drive. He was 6 out of 12 for 82 yards. Decent. But sometimes when you get a backup in there, everybody just rises up. They play their best, absolute best. Don't get a lot of pressure on them. When the ball goes up, Kenny Golladay came down with the ball. So he had a couple check downs. If nothing was there deep, he got the ball out of his hands quick. So he got us down the field. And I said, if we weren't down by 21, if this was the middle of the 3rd quarter, we would have kicked the field goal there. So, Mr. Coach Judge is going to have an interesting decision to make on his hands for next week. If Daniel Jones cannot take contact, he's going to have an interesting decision who's going to be playing when we go play the Eagles next week. So that's very, very interesting. I said all in all, we were in there with them. The turnovers were just absolutely kill us. But on the bright side, all right, now the loss keeps their pick in the draft. And only got 3 games left, guys. Only got 3. The Giants were picking, I think, number 6. I think the Bears' pick was number 5. The Bears are playing tonight, Monday night, home against the Vikings. All right. Now, the Vikings are 6-7. Big game for them. The Vikings can score some points. Now, the Bears don't have a great offense. The Vikings don't have a great defense. So that'll be interesting to see what Justin Fields can do there. But the Vikings do have a good offense. They can move the ball. But the Bears got a good defense. So that'll be very interesting. But I mean, the Vikings really need the game to try to fighting for their playoff lives here. So if they can beat the Bears and the Bears, wind up losing, the Giants will still have picks 5 and pick 6. And next week, the Jets are playing, I think, Jacksonville. So if the Jets somehow can win that game and have 4 wins, maybe the Giants can if the Giants lose to the Eagles, maybe the Giants can jump up to like number 4. I mean, who knows? But as I said, next week got to play the Eagles in Philly, and then also after that, then we got to play the Bears, and we got to play the Washington football team. So the season's coming to an end. As I said, thankfully for me anyway, it's been a long season. When you're out of it, and you got a bunch of guys hurt, second, third string quarterbacks in there, you're losing game after game after game. It's a long season, so I'll be kind of happy when it wraps up. I'll be sad because I'll miss football, but when the Giants season's over with and I can start looking forward to next season, I'll breathe a sigh of relief. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo!